Pastor Tony asked a good question a minute ago, and he said, "Did you say you had a teacher?" He had a teacher in school that seemed to have intuition. Okay, right? Okay, he was it was a man. Okay, a martial arts teacher. He seemed to have intuition. Okay. Maybe we've heard in the press stories about ESP, um, uh, mind reading, extrasensory capabilities, and these kind of things. In the demonic world, we hear about walking on fire, um, divining, connecting with the dead, and this type of thing. When I was in Baku, a family brought a woman to the church who they said, my daughter was, I forget, 6 children, and the oldest one, my daughter, was the best of the whole family, the oldest girl, and she took care of the family and everything. But now she's crazy. And she became crazy when she went to a palm reader. She went to a palm reader in the mountains, and when she came home, like she was like foaming at the mouth, not sleeping, not looking, staring, and just demon possessed. And so we had a prayer for her to cast the demons out. There were 3 of us guys, and we had this prayer, and I'm very interested in that and understanding how that works, because we have some experience, and it does work, that Christ is more powerful. However, I just say that to say, if somebody is intuitive, doesn't mean that it's demonic, and that's maybe the question, or one of the questions. And my reference is Watchman Nee's book, just to help you understand a little bit, called The Latent Power of the Soul. And I'm not saying it's correct, I don't know, but it is thought provocative, and it is that he believes maybe that when God made Adam and Eve, he gave them a lot of powers. Like the garden was big, they could see without being there, smell, understand what was going on in the garden by the soul. He called this the soul power, the soul capability. And then when Adam sinned, he lost some of that soulish capability. And maybe even through history, man has been losing some of his, I don't know about that, but he's anyway lost. That's the bottom line. And he's without God's soul. He's not what he should be. However, his point that he makes in the book is that you could say that this soul had a lot of skill. And it may be that some people do have some ESP, extrasensory perception or intuition. I mean, stories, maybe a mother wakes up in the middle of the night troubled and concerned, and there was reason for that, and this type of idea, Is it all demonic? I would say no, I don't know. But I do know that there are demonic things that are spiritual. That's this point here, like we were saying, that if I go to a fortune teller, I don't know what spirit I could pick up that would have some influence maybe even some kind of authority in my life and trouble. That's why it says, don't give any place to the devil. But that being said, I'm not saying all of these things that can happen in life. I think there are things that we don't understand and don't know. So I would say I test things. We'll turn to Deuteronomy. This is a very good scripture. Turn to Deuteronomy. I believe it's chapter 10. Or is it 13? It's 13, yeah. Deuteronomy 13. If there rise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and gives you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder comes to pass, whereof he spake unto you. What could be a sign or a wonder? Maybe VJ's from India. In India, there could be signs and wonders. Have you heard or seen anything? Yes. Yes. Millions of people go to a temple to see a light in the sky. Okay, so some kind of a wonder or a miracle. Okay, do these things happen? Can they happen? Are they happening in the world? And the Bible. Listen, this is to the Jewish people after they came out of Egypt. God is saying, if that happens, there's a prophet or a miracle worker. If it happens, verse 3. Verse 2. Saying, and he says, the guy that does the sign or the wonder comes to pass, and he spake, saying, let us go after other gods which you have not known, and let us serve them. You will not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams. Now, just because there is a miracle or a dreamer of dreams or a ESP or somebody predicted the future and they're correct. Remember when Kennedy was killed in Texas? And who was the false, the woman that it was Jean Dixon. Jean Dixon told him not to go because she saw something. And I think she saw that he was going to be killed. That's how she became famous. If you track her prophecies and her insight and so on, it is 60% true, which is very high. But what does that do to you? What does that mean to you? Well, for me, it's a test. It's for me to say, almost like, so what? Who do you believe in? Are you magnifying Christ? What spirit are you of? Just because, the devil can cast out devils. Do you know that? Exorcism. That there's a demon in a person and another demon in another person, and the demon in the other person, they do this whole theatrical thing, and this demon comes out. And this person is saying, I cast the demon out. I have power. And this demon goes out, but how does the whole thing end up? There's 7 more demons come back in. Or does these demons beat up this guy who had the power to cast out the demon? This is a demonic world, and it's designed to deceive and mislead. And the coming period of life that we are living in, we see it in our culture today. The primary word is deception. People are not getting it. I mean, there are people that are nuts. and they will follow all kinds of things. And wonders is one of them, and that's 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Okay? I kind of got off of what Tony was saying. Tony was saying, and what I am saying is that, yeah, I believe that somebody could have a sense, and it's not demonic. It's maybe the latent power of their soul, that they have that capability. By the way, we have the 5 bodily senses, but we have many senses that you have as a person. One of them is a sense of humor. You also have a sense of social propriety, of reading another person. You have maybe a sense of when you are in danger. Is there something not right? And if you were to, find what is that exactly, we may not really know where it's coming from or even what its name is. But it's like the psychologists say that maybe human beings have 28 senses. Like we have a lot of them. Isn't that cool? Like we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And if somebody has a sense of intuition, that doesn't mean it's demonic. It could be just a part of the design that we have. However, what spirit we are of is of great importance to us because we don't want to be misled. By their words or their message. Look at verse 3. You shall not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams. Now, where do dreams come from? It says in Ecclesiastes 5, from a multitude of business. Dreams are just a kind of a purification of the mind, the mind resting. It's kind of a way of restoration, sleeping and dreaming and all of that. It's just not to be understood as being from God. However, there are dreams that can be from God. Usually, if it is of God, you have a sense that it was real. You have a sense that I'm taking that seriously. There's nothing particularly crazy, like the way our dreams normally are. They're crazy, but they may be remembered. They may make sense. And they may have some meaning to them. That being said, I'm not caring about them because my dreams don't mean anything. And I don't think yours do either. Okay. We are kind of conservative in that regard, but in the Middle East, God is using dreams. There are people in the Bible, Pharaoh had, Joseph had. It was a part of what God was doing. But that's Hebrews 1:1. God, who at sundry times and different ways spake in times past unto the fathers through the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son. Okay? Verse 3, part B. To know whether for the Lord your God proves you. So don't listen unto the words of that prophet, even if he levitated up to the highest star and came back. And say, what do you think of that? I say, what's your message? Who's God? Who is your God? And if you can't get that right, I'm not interested. You might have there are people, and I don't agree with this. There's black witchcraft and white witchcraft. And people that are sick will go to white witchcraft, meaning they are healing people with their witchcraft, but because they call it white because they say it's for good. It's not for money or cursing, but they say it's for the good. And so a Christian going to one of those kind of people, I think it's a great error. Because I don't want anybody with any witchcraft to touch me. or have anything to do with me, because that's the way I want to live. And if I die, I die. But I want to glorify God and honor this portion here. It says, I will prove you by these people to know whether you love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. So if you can pray for me when I'm sick and I don't get healed, then that's fine. I'll accept that as from God, and then you can do my face-to-face service. And that's perfect will. I'll accept it as God's will. But I'm not going to go to some witch somewhere that's a good person that is doing this from another spirit. Okay? Last part, Philippians chapter 3. And we have these 3 things mentioned here. Any question or comment on that we just covered? Philippians 3. So we turn there. Okay, Philippians chapter 3. That I may know him. So this is the box again. And the lid on the box, and those 3 things. Can we remember them? The golden pot. That's communion. That's here. Look at verse 10. Philippians, we'll put here Philippians 3:10. That I may know him. This is the important thing. And this is in the Spirit, that I might know him in the power of his resurrection. That's number 2. That's Aaron's rod that budded. That's the resurrection. Aaron's rod that budded. And then number 3. And the fellowship of his sufferings, being made conformable unto his death. The fellowship of his sufferings, we can say, if we say, I'll put here, the 10 Commandments is really the sense of righteousness, right? Righteousness. What it means, like Jesus loved righteousness. He loved righteousness. He loved it. So, if I suffer, and I have the fellowship of his sufferings, but the Spirit is with me and ministering to me, then I will be able to endure it because of the function of God in our spirit. The Spirit is very strong. This is Proverbs 16 and verse 32 and 33. It's greater than a man that can take a city. A man that can rule his spirit is greater than a man who can take a city. I mean, the spirit of a man is the key. And it says, Joseph had an excellent spirit. Caleb had a different spirit. David had the spirit of an angel, the Philistines said. And another one was Daniel had an excellent spirit, right? Daniel. I'm pretty sure he had, was it an excellent spirit? Daniel in the front row knows what kind of spirit Daniel in the Bible has, because he's like him. Okay, so Stephen, they could not resist the spirit that Stephen had in Acts chapter 6. So that's our class tonight. I think you got it. I think we could. I love these little things. I'm here doing this all through the class. And you're like thinking, okay. But, it's awesome. And I think when we take care of ourselves, like Take care of yourself in the Spirit. Be always careful to be filled with the Spirit. Don't grieve him. Have the communion with him, and he will lead you and edify you and build you up in the Spirit. And I don't know, that's just amazing. I mean, this is the way Pastor Stevens taught us, and I'm so happy that he emphasized this all the time. The anointing in the class, the spirit of our prayer, the spirit of our study, the spirit of the preaching, the spirit of our life. That's just powerful. Okay, so enjoy your reading. I'm not giving you any assignment except what Karen is... Okay. Okay, none for tonight. Yeah, why don't you read all the way up to page 44 in your book here. Wow. Page 44, right in that book. And let's see. Austin, you're number 1. Good to see you. God bless you. Yeah, you are dismissed.